Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Are we ready?
Always.
Beautiful. And your travel arrangements had changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just a taxi to the airport.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, are we starting?
Take it away.
Go!
Take it away. We can get a few songs in here.
This is your rehearsal. See, listen, join our gang.
Right. We have nothing rehearsed.
Well,
planned.
neither do I. Neither do we.
Strawberry.
Yay!
Strawberry.
Juicy strawberry.
24. The Jackson 3. Take it away.
Here we go. Let's do a little.
Carlos can come on in.
You want it? We're just practicing for family here.
Well, we are.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, there you go, Bert. Take it off. Let's just sing it forever. Sing it forever. Oh, here comes.
Tell me I'm already
Sweet. Gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Book your tickets for Strawberry. It will be coming up live at Strawberry. We hope. Jackson's in there. You can get a week or 10 days.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, thank you for coming to this spontaneous Chautauqua, or what should we call these things? Satsang. Yeah, Benny's here. Benny's going around greeting all of our guests. Rico made it all the way from Japan.
Oh, and got kisses. Oh, Betty's loving that.
The nose kisses.
Oh.
Marika's so still. She doesn't even move her head. She's
Sweet.
Yeah.
He loves you.
Oh.
His new lover.
So sweet. Well, our lesson today is I am blessed as the Son of God. Yeah.
Yay.
I'm just feeling such blessings. I called Jason up and I said, let's do something. And we worked in the squeeze at a time. And then we were getting ready to go. And everyone hopped in the car. We just squeezed in and took a tour of Chautauqua.
It's lovely. It's gorgeous. It's renewed.
Ah.
Yeah.
You don't even know.
It looks like a different city. It's finished, almost finished. So we thought we would have a little Chautauqua. We have a roving mic.
Mm-hmm.
Vicki has the pinky purple pink mic to rove around for anybody, for anyone who wants to express. But it feels like this is just a time for us of expansion and joy and spontaneity, and everybody is just following their heart and following their function, and we're just all just rejoicing. I really felt that when I read that lesson today too. I am blessed as the Son of God. I just came down to our morning meeting. It was, God, I'm blessed as the Son of God. Just feeling that. It says in there, practice every 10 minutes through the day, so that's a lot of practice. But we've been doing pretty much of that, just going with the flow of it and everything. And Jason, you've had a lot of meetings going on here, more, right? Just venturing out to the houses. You felt the call.
Yeah, we first started with Robert opening up here at our house with 20 people, and it just, his opening led to everybody else, and then I would go to the next house and share parts of that, and then they would just crack open. And then we went to Quantico, or QDS after that, and it just felt the same vibrancy, like, wow, everybody's cracking open and taking big leaps and scared, and yeah, it's just all like an honor for me to be with everybody and just meet in the healing. So.
Yeah, it feels like that's the practice. It's just to be open with an open heart in the moment and just be in that prayer, just show the way, and then just spontaneously, whatever comes, to be able to be open and flow with that. And yeah, it's beautiful. I think it's great. You were over with, there was a trip over to the QDS today, but that's part of the publications distribution. There's lives coming. Yeah, Lorena's here. Rico just arrived. So it's like a vibrant house of movement. And then going over from here, I guess you and Yvonne, Amelia's over there too. So it's like a big swirl of movement too, to just come up and support for the extension. And that new book, Jesus, the Gospel of Love, that's going out. And yeah, Greg was telling me recently you could track where different parts of the world where it's being purchased, and so that's kind of fun just to see the little sparkles light up. But it's such a deep message. It's such a devotional life, and yeah, what a great experience to be part of, just to feel the joy that you can just fully put your heart into it and you don't have to look back to the past to give you a direction for the future. You can just follow your heart and be carried, kind of carried like you're floating on a wave. And that's amazing. And even all the little animals we have at all the houses, it's amazing to see them. This is just Zion and Benito. Those are the mainstays. They've been here for years. There was actually a stretch of time when the Casa was empty. I forget how many years ago that was. It was completely empty, and only Benny and Zion lived here, and they had someone to cut the grass, and they had someone to do the cleaning. And when I came over here, the vibration was so deep. They were the only ones living here.
Hold the space.
Holding the space. It was like a giant Zen Japanese garden, and with just them, they were actually calmer than I've ever seen too. But that's just a reminder how we go into the stillness, into the presence. It's not about the doings, it's not about the projects, it's just about the connecting, the aligning, feeling that total alignment with the present moment, the simplicity of that. And you want to share anything about your project? You've got a project going on?
Oh my God.
I'm coming out.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. I wasn't planning on it, but yeah, well, I guess for me, like, after Francis, kind of disappeared from my awareness, I was sharing with Jason yesterday, it was such a deep relationship that I had with her, and just felt like such a direct experience with her. And for me, I heard once, it was like a complete, even with me and JP the last month, just very, very busy. And then, JP went to Laos, and I was there alone, and I heard, come on to me, come on to me, come on to God, go within. And, it's about the direct experience. And it's been very mystical for me, because it was like, really letting go of the world and wanting just this connection with God. And all of a sudden the words, just every morning I was getting up and I was just hearing all these words and all these thoughts, and I heard to go right. And so it was like I sort of I disappeared into the music too. I heard to play piano music, and so it just encompassed me actually, and all these words just started pouring out of me, and it was like this most beautiful inward relationship with God that is so beautiful and so divine that it was like just pouring my heart out of all my gratitude. And Jason had said to me, it was beautiful, because he said, I don't think you're going to be getting out of here until you write this book. And so it was just a real prayer, like, to fulfill the function, whatever it is, just to share my life, my life practicing A Course in Miracles and practicing and living, really the mind training and practicing forgiveness and living in community and just seeing how the Spirit is so funny because I'm right at the end of the book and I actually have no idea what I wrote. It's pretty flipped that someone asked me and they said, they were asking me and I said, I actually don't even know if I put that in there, because it just kind of poured out of me. And really for me, it's not really even about a book. I don't like it. It feels like that's time or something. It seems like that I'm have 36 chapters at this moment, but I don't feel like it's like an end outcome. It's really about continually praying to stay in that direct experience with God and be present. And really, I feel like my life, even here in community or whatever, has always been that. The prayer to remember God and the prayer to feel that being done through, feeling the experience of the Holy Spirit in a real way, to continually keep letting go and letting God in a real way, to really feel that presence and that deep prayer every day. And it just feels like that's how I want to just live the rest of my life, whether I'm writing a book or doing whatever I'm doing. It just even here coming today. I mean, it's just really, it's being shown to me what God's plan is for my life, and it's not my plan. And just yesterday, JP said something. He said he keeps hearing respect the flow. Respect the flow. Really, totally in a real way, that my life is not my own. But all that I do know is that I want to remember God, whatever that means. Like you can't even put that in. It's a vibration. It's a feeling of connectedness. And really, I don't even know how that is. But it's really just this inward experience of completely surrendering, like we all just did this morning. It's like, the ego, you can feel the fear, what is happening, what's going on. But it's like when you really surrender into the flow and you fully let go, it's like, wow, you really are just flying. Even the music, you guys playing the music, it was like, oh my God, it's like surrendering to the flow. And look at the beauty when we really let go and let God and let the Spirit pour through us. It's our deliciousness. It's the living vibration. And it's not really between people. It's between our source. It's like we really are sourced, and that experience of being sourced is the most delicious experience. I don't know. And it's really pretty, to the ego, it's probably pretty boring. It's not like this pizzazz and this this flair. It's actually pretty simple. Just being in the simplicity. Just living every day. I am blessed as a son of God in a real experience. It's like to really fully embrace that gift and to fully get present in that divine bursting. I don't know, I can't even really explain it with words, but it's like a gift for all of us to really, surrender into this present moment and really feel that divine gift of our source. It's so beautiful. I can't even put words to it. It's like fully just dropping into this presence of just what is. And then being surprised too. That Erpi said this morning, was so beautiful. She goes, it's an adventure. Let's be on the adventure because it is an adventure. When you don't have a plan for your life and you really kind of just, whatever it is, washing the dishes or whatever it is, it's the adventure of just being present with what's showing up. It's pretty miraculous and it's pretty, it's so simple. It's beautiful. And I guess I feel like that's what we're like, little children, just stepping into the wonder of God. And trusting that what's beautiful is what you see is that you realize that you really have no control over your life. You have no, it's like, and everything that you need, always, I promise, everything that you ever need that for whatever you're doing will be shown to you. It's just being open to be open up to the new ideas, opening up and feeling that aliveness. Oh, keep praying. Show me, God. Teach me, show me, praying, continually living in that, being sourced through. So, wow. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I think we're all into the flow now. And there was a show that Jason and I did years ago called From the Bottom Up, meaning the correction is made from the bottom up, not from the top down. Meaning, when you're in alignment with Holy Spirit, it's like a vibration, a frequency, like a song that has a pitch. It's a very beautiful high pitch. It's very harmonious. It's a beautiful frequency. You're just tuned in, like tuning in on a radio station, FM radio station, just the right sweet spot. So the song is crystal clear. But that crystal clear vibration comes through the filter of the ego as guidance. So, like even today, to have Jackson here, he had to make the change of, say, Andrea, I'm not going to be ready at 10:30. I'm going to get another way to the airport. And that's an example of the frequency just lining up and then saying yes, and it goes from the bottom up. So it's a rearranged taxi ride. And that happens all the time. That's what the joy is of saying yes, because the ego is saying, yeah, what about the practicalities? Because I know a lot of us have gone through those things about how will my needs be met? Will I have a life of my own, or won't I have a life? If I surrender to this, will I just be swept away in the river of love, floating down like in an inner tube in the river of love, with really no control over how fast or slow? And when the inner tube goes around the bend, will I stay in the river or will I flip off onto the shore? That's the practicality of giving it all and saying, Jesus said 2,000 years ago, he said, take no thought of what you shall wear or what you shall eat, but seek first the kingdom of heaven, and all else will be added unto you. That is what we're discovering. That's the adventure of discovering that you can pull your mind away from the details of the past. Even like the Jackson with the taxi, he just pulled his mind and said, I trust, I'm still going to catch my flight, and I'm going to come and sing and play the drums and be the flow of life. And then that's just like a little microcosm. Then when you start to realize that keeps expanding to include your entire experience. So you can let go of concerns. Take no thought of what you shall wear, what you shall eat. Concerns about the body or its health. Concerns about finances. Concerns about even where will the body be? Many of us for many years went through all kinds of visa miracles. And we had many, many visa miracles in the United States. And then now we've had even more, I think, down in Mexico, more visa miracles. The doors just opening. Even that time during COVID when there was talk about, we can get some visas, temporals in another town. And I think Anna was the one researching it, but a few people were saying it seems bogus. I think this is a whole bogus thing and everything. I said, well, normally I might agree, but it's Easter. Jesus loves to perform miracles at Easter. So because it's Easter, let's go for it anyway and just see what happens in the adventure. I don't know, we had like 15, 17 visas that came in that were very miraculously arranged, like Jesus arranged in time and space, even for things like visas, even for things like with finances. When you start to relax, you realize that your mind answering the calling of God was what it always is about. When you say yes to the calling, to the deepest calling there is, to know thyself, then amazing, miraculously, everything else gets handled like a fairy tale. It's like a fairy tale with a magic wand. And then even for you, every day, you just don't know exactly what's going to come. But every day starts and ends with prayer. A prayerful day all the way through.
I was even thinking about it yesterday because I was getting specifics, like do this, do that, and then at 4 a.m, I would wake up and I'd be so happy just to be with like him or the presence or even sometimes Francis in my mind. And so this was happening, and then I'd like, okay, I wouldn't wake up, but I kind of like set an alarm to get up and make it happen, and it wasn't happening. So I go back to sleep, and a few days went on with this, but I was just in such a flow, and I was praying about it, and I said, where are you?
It's 4 a.m., where are you? Hello?
Oh no!
It's me. There's a rambling comes in. But it was like, what I heard was, you're learning the involuntary nature, and you don't even need to know what to do. It's you're being carried in it. Like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's. Because then you get, and I was like, well, but I thought, well, I definitely won't get any credit or blame for that. But it felt alive, you know. And so not to even know what you're doing. It's kind of like, oh, okay, but you guys coming over, it feels so vibrant.
Yeah, it's just kind of, we were just having our morning meeting, and I was like, you know, I'm feeling a Chautauqua, a little gathering this morning. Anybody in with me? And everyone was like,
No. We were in the know. Well, you know, we're like, you know, pretty quiet. They were like, oh, meditating day. Everyone's getting clean.
another day of nothing.
And then all of a sudden it was like, then Irpy was like, it's an adventure. I'm like, okay, I want to be in the adventure. They're just really surrendering into it. Then it was funny because then JP came and he's like, you know, okay. Then Kirsten, Suzanne's like, I'm going to go. So it just all happened.
Yeah, it started. Because when I saw the blank faces, I looked at my phone, I clicked it. Jason's online. He's on green on this. And then it all rolled from there. It just turned into it.
And we have a band.
We got a band. That's part of that.
I could watch, as I'm on with David, I'm seeing all these messages there. It's like, hey, I'm meeting at 10 birds, I'm meeting with the bird. Let's do this. And I'm like, are you sure we're going to do that?
Yeah, because I was like, is Jackson still here? Technically.
He's like on his way out.
But he's got a taxi lineup, Andrea, for 10:30. That would be a good time to do. But it's funny how everything, that's how perception works. It's like quantum physics, quantum world, where everything you perceive is your mind. So like we were talking about, even the traffic coming over, you know, it's fun in Mexico because people will make all kinds of daring driving maneuvers, pulling out at any time, stopping their car, to putting the flashers on in the middle of a busy day, right in the middle of a busy street, like, oh, I have to run in and do some errands, and everyone just, but it's all quantum here. Everyone's like, okay, you know. But as in other places, you know, you make the daring move and you're dead because the people run you over. But this is more of like a respecting the flow, like even with the traffic, respecting the flow. Respecting the flow. It's like every day respecting the flow. And then you you learn to not really have set expectations with how the day is meant to go. It's like rules for decision in the back of the text. If I make no decisions by myself and I decide the kind of day I want, then this is the day that will be given me. Jesus is like saying, very matter-of-factly, just decide the kind of day you want and make no decisions by yourself, and you'll get exactly the day that you want. And that just means we have to really let go of our past learning, which says, well, you'll be lucky if you get a few glimmers of joy and happiness that come your way. This is like saying, no, I'm worthy of joy and happiness. I'm worthy of peace. I'm worthy of being in joyful flow always. And it is my decision. And it comes to nothing but my decision, by joining my decision with the Holy Spirit. And then you can just relax like a twig in the river. It's that la 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 la, live for today. Or Lisa was using the word like 4 times you mentioned when you just spoke, vibration. I think of the Beach Boys. Gotta keep that love good vibration happening with it. It's pick up good vibrations. It's vibrations. It's frequency. We're tuning into a frequency. We can call it a purpose. We can call it a connection. We can call it anything we want to call it. But it's an experience that everything is in divine flow and always has been and always will be. It just takes my willingness to connect. Even though the ego is saying, be practical, what about the logistics? Where will you go? What will you do? How will you live? How will you survive as a body? That's the old track. It's a very low frequency.
Low vibration.
It's low, very, very low. It's heavy. There's a heaviness with it. There's a heaviness, let's admit, when we follow the ego, it's the human condition is heavy. It's heavy. It feels like it's a heavy weight to carry. Like Sisyphus having to push a boulder up a hill. Imagine your whole life with a feeling like you're pushing a boulder, big heavy rock up a hill. And then the ego is saying, yeah, accept that. That's the way the human condition is. And this is like, no, take no thought for what you shall wear, what you shall eat. And at first, it seems like it's a big leap, like a leap of faith. But then when you really leap and you start to experience the flow, then you think, well, why was I hesitating? Why did I even wait a moment to hesitate about this calling? And it's trust, and it builds faith. So it's great that we can do this.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, because it's letting go out of the outcomes too. It's like you don't have an outcome. That's what I see. It's like I don't have an outcome of the day. It's really a present decision to be fully present with what is. And that fully being present with what is, everything becomes alive. It's like I want to look at everyone. I want to enjoy what's appearing in front of me. I want to really, know that I'm with God, and this is how it looks with me with God. So there's not like I'm going to get it some other time. It's really surrendering so fully into the present moment that is enough, that it satisfies you. There's nothing else that you really ever wanted. It was just to fully be with what is in a real way, to fully embrace everything exactly as it is. It's like, oh wow, this is, no more resisting, no more fighting, just totally letting go into what's happening. It's it's very natural actually. It's not even like, it's like it was very unnatural fighting that. That's what the fighting was. It was all fighting what the plan was, allowing the plan to unfold. It's like, oh my word, how easy that is and how vibrant and alive. I mean, when we were driving in Chautauqua, David was like, look how beautiful it is. And we're like, okay. We are so blessed. And it was like new streets and new vision just driving through it. It seemed like for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, like just being in the flow, but not in some outcome. Like even coming here, no outcome. It's like, oh, okay, let's just be here with what's happening. Being with all of us, looking at everyone and knowing that this is in divine order, that everything is in total divine order. Nothing is out of accord. Like, okay, wow, I'm going to surrender to that. I'm going to accept that. I'm going to be with that. I'm going to feel that. I'm going to taste it. Like what is appearing in front of me and how beautiful everything looks at that. I feel for myself, that's how my day is. I don't even know what I'm doing. I get up, I just, and it's being done through me. Like it's appearing in front of me. Oh, that's the next thing. Oh, this is the next thing. And just, but you're not really thinking about the morrow. It's more about this is how it's playing out.
Yeah, maybe we could talk a little bit about this picnic in the park.
Oh.
Because JP and Lisa took a day to go down to Guadalajara and found this giant park, and then there's been all these ideas about having a picnic in the park the next holiday. This was the holiday when they went, and Jason's been on the phone with, I think, along with Urpi and this man, of trying to hire a bus for the whole community so we can all take off on the next holiday.
Have a bus trip.
In March, and all take a big bus trip down to this huge park that's bigger than like Central Park in New York City. It's like this massive park that you can just go, and it's very still and beautiful. But yeah, maybe we could share a little bit about how that unfolded, because even the bus, that's been an adventure, trying to get a bus to fit
40 people.
Well, remember the guy in Oxford who does the windows at the end here by Soriana's? I took the van in one time to get a new windows. And he said, if you ever need a big vans or bus driver, let me know. So I called him, and I thought he spoke English. He didn't. He hung up. I kept saying it, then he's like, then I did my Spanish, but in the end, it didn't work at all. So we got Urpi on the phone, and it worked right away. He even sent his wife to contact me, but we got on the phone. And yeah, it's just really helpful. And he's going to try to find us a bus of 40, but if not, 2 smaller ones, or take the Highlander. But we had a big event here a few years ago where we actually
David's 60th birthday, I think. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
We rented an actual school bus.
Yeah.
So we can do it.
It was a big bus.
It was.
Yeah.
And it was orange.
Yeah, it was 60.
It was an orange bus.
We were
with
like,
60
hey,
on the front. It was the 60th birthday.
We showed up, pulled up out there.
We're like, holy moly, here it comes.
You were wearing that same sweater.
Yeah,
For 60 years.
that was more than a few years ago. But maybe you can share when you and JP. You just
Well, that was a spontaneous day because I had watched this. I never even heard of this guy, but I watched this documentary on Rudolf Steiner, all about nature, and it was really beautiful. And I thought, oh, I would love to just be surrounded by trees. Well, you know, maybe we could go on an adventure someday. And I said to JP about it, and I said, isn't there a park around here or something that we could go to? And he's like, oh, there's this place in Guadalajara. So even that morning, it was funny because we didn't even know if we were going to go. We were like, let's just see what happens. And then that morning, David said that he was going out. And I said, okay, I guess we're going to go to Guadalajara. Me and JP jumped in the car, and it was a holiday. And I don't know how many of you have driven in Guadalajara. It's just tons of traffic. Everything is always just terrible. But we go. And there's absolutely no traffic at all. I mean, none. It was a miracle. Everywhere we went, it was just this flow. We were just going and going. And here we end up at this. Then we got to the park. And we thought we would go to this restaurant to eat lunch. We looked, it was closed. And then we said, okay, let's see what happens. The Spirit's redirecting everything. Then we thought, okay, we're going to go to the closest restaurant. It was like, okay. We went on TripAdvisor. It was just this day of just really no plan. And it was so fun.
It's where you guys used to go with Francis a lot, though.
No, I never went there before, but he said, I never went there before.
Marcella. Marcella's been
Marcella said that she used to go there with her
there. Her
husband.
husband.
JP said he was there with Francis.
You met the restaurant, I think.
Oh, the restaurant. Yes, yes. And it was 5 minutes away. So anyhow, you can't really talk about this stuff.
Yeah. When we heard it was a holiday and there was no traffic, and how great the park was, and like it was a mystical kind of experience in the center of the second largest city in Mexico. Then we thought, oh, we could do
a group
the whole
with
gang
40
could
people.
all go together and meditate together and be out in the sunshine and lay in the grass and not have to handle too much with parking. Then we came, let's get a bus. So, it's just the joy.
We could take some guitars along too
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
and play some music.
Jackson's like,
Are you going home, Jackson? Maybe screw that. Let's just go wide open.
his whole career is.
Just let it all go.
He doesn't like his job. Well,
Let it go. Let it go.
this thinks Stevie Wonder.
Well, yesterday, Bert said, we went to dinner. Bert said he wants to get into singing more, but he doesn't know if he can trust his voice or it's shaky. And then Jackson said, you need a Stevie Wonder. And I said, yours.
You're Bob Dylan and Stevie Wonder. You just saw the movie.
Steve really touched me.
Yeah. Eric's like Kenny Loggins. He's from the same level. Yeah. The funny thing was, too, I think it was a couple nights ago, I was upstairs and going through, we have so many things on our Plex, but I started going through the strawberry fields and I found one of the young Erik singing Just Relax. And it was like, whoa. So it was like, I looked over Ruby and I was like, oh, wow, do you feel that? She's like, oh, yeah. And then I put on Instagram one where Jason's brother had lifted and was swirling Francis around. And the next morning I woke up and I just had this image of a smiling Francis singing. She was actually singing at 2012 Strawberry and then getting lifted and just in total glee being swirled around by your brother Andrew. And then I started to go into other ones and I was just feeling the vibration of all the music. That was like our version of Woodstock or of all the great concerts that have been done, for people and causes around the world with just so many artists and into the vibe of God's love and just being out there in the canyon and a very carefree existence. And we are learning through trust that we can cast our cares upon Him, for He careth for you. We learn that we can actually live a joyful life from the joy, from the vibration of joy, and let everything else be orchestrated. Because Jesus says, if you'll perform miracles for me, I will orchestrate time and space for you. That's not how we were trained. We were trained in systematic thinking. If I don't do this, this will happen. If I don't do that, that will happen. I don't want to die old and weak and frail and alone. But Jesus is saying, enough with all your future thoughts of your body. How about right now? Right now, are you willing to join me in the great crusade of correction of error? Are you willing to join me now and let me use your skills and abilities for a purpose that you can't completely comprehend at the moment. But you will, certainly, if you say yes and you just follow and follow and follow. So I was just caught up in going through all these strawberry clips, amazed at all of them we have. And you could just feel the presence of God was just orchestrating everything, just for our good, just for us to accept that we're worthy of love, and that we don't need to do something in form to perform a certain way or to achieve something in form to have that sense of worth, that it's already a given, and we have to just tap into it right now. And then stay in it, stay in the worth. And, it's the undoing of guilt. This whole world is based on guilt. It's like, seems to be unconscious pockets of guilt, layers and layers and layers. But if we navigate from the present moment, meaning we trust that everything will be provided, then that's our way through and beyond the guilt, the ontological guilt of believing we separated from God, in a very practical way. So from the bottom up, let's do this. Let's float. Every day, let's float. Let's keep floating.
It's beautiful.
Float, float, float down the river. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. Yeah.
Maybe another song?
I'm even thinking,
Oh.
because of this, I was thinking of Jackson, because before he leaves, I just want to say this one thing, because we asked him what was his greatest lesson that he learned when he was here. And he's like, oh, there's too many. That was his first answer. But for everyone who doesn't know, Jackson waited like 5 or 6 years. David's been your teacher on YouTube, and he's found like Joel Goldsmith and stuff like that, but somewhere he didn't really fully believe Joel because he died. He might mean it like that. But like this is what Jackson did. He said he doesn't have to deal with the way the world is now. So when he saw David, he's like so happy. He's just like, oh my God, this is it. And then tried to visit Kirsten in Germany, and he was too afraid. When I went to Belgium and offered to meet him halfway, he was too afraid. But he just made this massive leap to fly all the way over here. And so he's been kind of hiding out in his own room, even when he goes to Uganda, like just solo. So when he came here, just to be at lunch with everybody was amazing. Then to express his thoughts, he said even with his family, he doesn't have this feeling like they hear him in a way that like 5 minutes later, he said, I could do the worst expression here. And 5 minutes later, they say, okay, back into your function. He's like, it's fantastic. They're not saying no more function. But I think the greatest thing he said was that I could always write songs myself, but to be with Bernd and Erik, and to maybe you want to say it, but you want to say it?
Yeah, I always loved writing songs, but I always wrote them in total silence, and I was always alone. Like, I'll write them in my mind, taking a long walk and stuff like that. And this was the first time where I joined two brothers, and he started playing, Erik joined, and we all sang the same song at once. It was like, we didn't even know the titles. We just would sing, and we're like, okay, what do we call it? Yeah, we keep singing home, so it's home. So, and then on the same day after that, then we continued, and then we sang another song, and we were so happy. I mean, what do we even call this one? We don't know, so we just said Tananana. Just call it that. And yeah, that was it. I mean, like, proof that when minds are connected and they have the same goal, they can hear the same message. And that was wonderful. For me, it was a miracle.
Yeah, it's life-changing. Then your confidence grows like, oh, it can be like this. It can be like this. And then the Spirit just takes you and lifts you higher and higher and higher and higher. And at times it can almost seem like surreal like it seems a little bit like a fairy tale. It has a fairy tale quality, magical quality, because it's so effortless. You can believe that it's so joyful and you're being carried so beautifully, and it's so effortless. You're not putting time and effort into it. It's just like it's taking you away. So isn't it just what a wonderful life it is when we let go. And the thing about it, we've noticed over the years, it's just been shown to us again and again. We just get a prompt or a guidance. I got another prompt and guidance this morning. I started sharing it at the morning meeting. It's like we just do that. Even when you were sharing about you and JP taking that trip, we were all like, oh, that's wonderful, wonderful. No traffic. How, wow, that's wonderful. That's surreal. And then the idea gets born, oh, let's take a trip together and let's have a picnic in the park. It's the words that came out, picnic in the park. But things come like that where they just are shown to you. It's just like the next obvious thing. Even though the next holiday is until, March 18th or something like that. So we have little time to line up our bus. But we may need that. It's taking a while. But that's it. It's like you just trust and go with it. You also see that like Jesus says, your only responsibility is the acceptance of the correction in the mind, not in bodies. But that goes against all these old ideas about responsibilities in the world. Because the ego says, here's all your responsibilities in the world, you have to do them all or you'll be dead. And then this voice inside saying, come with me, come on the adventure, trust me, and I will show you the way, and everything will be taken care of. And then the ego says, that's too good to be true. Come back and start preparing for survival again. So, it's one or the other. And we have to really develop that faith to be carried along in the trust. Because the ego is always going to paint a bleak picture of consequences. You'll be sorry if you trust spirit. You'll have future consequences to pay. And we're learning that there are present consequences when you tune into that frequency and vibration, and it's joy. It's joy. So we have another song. Ta-ta-ta-ta. What is it? Ta-na-na-na.
Do you remember it?
Jump into the
Yeah, that's what we do right now.
Okay.
Da-da-da-da-da. Is it?
Well,
Yeah. Can you
What is it?
Ta-na-na-na.
Ta-na-na-na.
Ta-na-na-na. Or something like that.
Let's just jump in.
We can start with the chorus. we go ta-na-na, 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 we go ta-na-na, ta-na-na, jump in, ta-na-na, ta-na-na, ta-na-na. All is love, all is joy, and nothing less. And this moment is all we've got. There is no tomorrow, only love. As we go ta-na-na-na, ta-na-na. Ta-na-na-na, ta-na-na, and then jump in. Ta-na-na-na, ta-na-na, Jackson free.
Beautiful.
Well, why don't we? The Big Mike. Who wants?
Oh, does anyone want to share?
Anyone want to share? Questions, comments, anything? Yes. Yvonne.
Oh, Yvonne.
Testing, hello.
It doesn't feel.
Yeah, that feels okay. Yeah, I do feel like uplifted after this session, but I've just been feeling like really low lately, and yeah, I just feel like I'm falling apart, and I've just been praying like so deeply for help, like it even feels like a miracle that you came, because you were so strongly in my mind yesterday, David. Like I was hearing your name, and but yeah, I just don't know what I need, but I just know that something needs to shift. Like and like the words can't even explain how deep the prayer is for rest in my mind. Yeah, I just feel like I'm at a stage where I'm just so open. It can be anything. Like I don't know what, but I don't even know what else to say. It's just just this feeling of exhaustion or something in the mind. And like I want to be in the flow with everyone, like I want to feel in alignment, like I do. But there's just some resistance, like a really strong resistance happening.
Yeah, I remember when you first made contact, I remember how you you were walking down, I think, the streets of Manhattan, and just talking into your phone with this video of just like, I know there's got to be more. I know there's got to be more. And then when we begin to open up our hearts and open up our minds to what is that more, show me. It reminds me of an old parable I heard, I think it might have been in Jonathan Livingston Seagull, or it was a book about the Crystal River, and how there was this beautiful crystal river, and along the shores of the crystal river were all these creatures that were clinging to the shore, and that was their only thing that they knew was cling to the shore. With all the energy you've got, just cling to the shore. Because the feeling was, if you don't cling, then you'll get taken by the river and you'll be tossed against the rocks and killed. And then at one point, all the clings, they call them the clings are all clinging on the side of the river, and someone upriver, one of the clings had decided, this is exhausting, I can't cling anymore to this shore. I have to let go. And so one of the clings let go and went sailing off in the river, in the free flow of the river. So downstream, the clings saw this one sailing on, and they went, look, it's the Messiah. The one that let go was the Messiah, because look, he floats freely. He doesn't need the shore. He's a free agent. He's a free flow. And I think sometimes it can be a matter of days or weeks or months, oftentimes seemingly even years, where there's just a faith that has to develop, a deeper trust, and there's a underbelly of like concerns and worries that are there, and then to the extent that those concerns and worries are given belief or allowed to fester, then it starts like a fatigue in the mind, almost like there's some bigger sacrifice required, or something required that's not immediately present, even though the love is always there. But there is no kind of right way or wrong way, and there is no set time frame work with anything. And the most important thing is, when you feel tired, to not throw a layer of self-judgment on top of the fatigue. It's just fatigue. And Jesus is always so loving and encouraging. He's like, well, then that's the way it seems for you now. Don't fight against the calling. Don't resist. And don't judge yourself for resisting. Don't compare with anything, anyone. Just allow yourself to be with whatever that emotion is, in a soft way, in a gentle way, in an accepting way, in an allowing way. Don't think of it as a problem. Just say, this is what I'm experiencing right now, and this is me giving my best, my fullest attempt at releasing the past, at releasing what I've been clinging on to. And I wouldn't have been clinging for so long if I didn't have fear. And you can't be thrust away from fear. It has to be a gentle, gradual, soft lifting from the fear. And that way that Jesus is like, take the pressure off yourself. Just relax, like Erik's song, go slow here. Don't try to feel that you must do something, or feel that because if you go with the I must, I should, I ought to way, then you feel a sense of coercion. Nobody likes to feel coerced. And I know even with people who do the course, there's a man from Europe, Ernst, who's been writing to me, and he wrote on Facebook Messenger a couple of days ago just this, how intense it's been for him. And I just prayed and wrote back to him, I thought, oh, just lighten up with your practice of these ideas. Lighten up with your practice of the course. It's Jesus throughout the workbook is saying, if there's a sense of strain, back off. If there's a sense of worry and concern, back off. If there's a sense of judgment, back off. I know that's the way it was for me when I first picked up the course and used it as an oracle. I had fatigue coming over me very often during the day. And Jesus is like, don't analyze it. Take a nap. Don't analyze it, go for a swim. Go have some fruit, have a banana or an apple. Just this friendly, joyful presence saying, oh, look at all the things that you have given over and be grateful for all of those things, but don't try to find where you've gone wrong, because that's not the direction to look. Rejoice in what's gone right. Rejoice in the love and the heart openings that you've had. Rejoice in the miracle, and then let the rest handle itself. It will be taken care of in proper time, in good time. So that was important for me, because I wouldn't have continued on with the practice if there'd been any other answer other than that. I would have stopped the practice. But this was more just giving myself permission and allowance to really take it as it comes and as I was inspired. And then when I started going with the inspiration, I became more inspired. And then I became more inspired and more inspired naturally, just from the miracles. I let the miracles light my mind up and go in that direction. So, yeah, it's just that we've had a habit of judging and comparing and feeling like we have to, match up with something or make the grade, or, we've done it with professions, we've done it with relationships, we've done it with education, we've done it with so many things where there's a pressure to produce something. And underneath that is the belief our worth is tied in to being productive. There was a Course in Miracles teacher that I studied way back many, many years ago in the late 1980s and early 1990s, and he was an Indian man, a Sikh, who was very much into A Course in Miracles, and Krishnamurti was his teacher, and one day he spoke the words, he said, "What if silence is the most productive state?" And I remember I got such a big smile on my face because I was so caught up in being productive. And he asked the question, what if silence is the most productive state? What if literally I need do nothing is the highest state, where that sense of need to do something, to prove something, to achieve something, to show something? What if that's just a metaphor to be washed away like all the rest? So it seems like for me, I had to relax, be gentle, and then I slowly slipped into just the light structure of the workbook lessons of A Course in Miracles, and then I started to feel the joy, the real intrinsic joy of being in that frequency or that vibration, and then the struggle is over. When you start to harmonize with that frequency, it starts to feel more natural. It starts to feel like, oh yeah, I'm going with this, I'm going in this direction, but you shouldn't be hard on yourself. There's no need to be hard on yourself during this. Jesus wants a happy learner. Jesus wants a playful learner. Jesus wants a spontaneous learner. Jesus wants a humorous learner. Yesterday, Lisa was saying that they had a festival here last night. Last night's parade was a part of marching to the statue of Jesus and letting go of bad humor,
Bad humor.
which Erpy translated for us was letting go of the unhappy person. March to the statue of Jesus and by the water, and then throw your unhappy person into the arms of Jesus and then into the water. JP was like, is this really, like, we were searching our phones like, really? Is this a real festival?
Is this a scam or what?
Is this a real profession? And it was like 6:00 last night. Yeah, everyone's welcome to Chapala to come, and we'll all march together to
Throw away the bad humor. Or
the actual interpretation of Spanish was an unhappy person. Give the unhappy person to Jesus and throw him in the sea. And we were like, okay. And then JP checked it out. It's real. And then Erpy said, it's in Spanish too. I confirm it. This is an actual thing that's happening. Now this is the town you live in. I just want to let you know. This is the actual town that you live in. That to me is kind of sweet and darling that they have this kind of thing. And I didn't go, but I didn't really have an unhappy person to throw into the arms of Jesus, but I thought, no, I don't know. I can't think of it. I'm just gonna. So I ended up watching a movie. What movie? I forget.
Senses?
Oh, Perfect Sense.
Oh, wow.
Instead, leave your five senses behind. So that's it, is to keep the lightheartedness with it, you know. And that's my prayer for you, is just to allow yourself the lightheartedness, you know. You don't even know the form that will take, but you know that you're loved, you're welcomed, and Jesus is so playful, so playful. Never taking anything serious, not for one moment. No matter what kind of case you can present to him, he still laughs in the end, no matter how serious it's been judged. You know, Jesus still has a good laugh. And a big, like, arm around you, like, come here. Oh, my beloved. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because since I've been doing this writing, I'm really surprised at how much resistance I had. You know, and I had a lot of resistance, and I had a lot of no's, a lot of control, a lot of pride, a lot of whatever. You know, like that's what actually, and what's the most beautiful thing is to see how patient, you know, God is and how much he loves us. And how it's like he knows me better than I know myself. And that he's loving us throughout it. It's like, I can't understand why I'm not in the yes. I couldn't understand. But I guess that I feel like we're all here healing our minds. And we don't even really know what that looks like. And for myself, I just know how much, you know, unhappiness came up during the process. But I don't ever feel that I was ever judged. Like it was just what was happening. I had to be with what was happening. I want an authentic experience. And I had to really fully allow myself to go through it without trying to control it, not trying to change it, you know, and using, you know, I was so grateful that I had the community as a reference to keep me getting back up again, beginning again every day. You know, it's like a continual, it's our lifelong journey is to practice forgiveness and forgiving ourselves and being loving with ourselves. Because I know for myself, when I have been writing, I had years of resistance. It was really interesting how much in the mind, just in a practical way, you know, how much I was fighting in my own mind, you know, just surrendering to what is in the end. I know that that's what I spoke about, you know, earlier, but, you know, it's like, you know, just not knowing what the process is. I feel like you guys, when I see the community, everybody seems so like we went ahead of you in a way, but that real intense, it's like, does anybody really understand what's happening? And I know for the first many years, me, Kirsten, and Jason, all of us, and there was an intensity that was happening. And so I think that what David was saying is like, then you compare and say, oh, wow, look how great they're doing, and judging ourselves. But it's like allowing it. It's this a permission to allow that to move through. And then it moves through, easier. It's not such a harsh thing. It's like, no, I can allow this. I don't have to, I want to be authentic. So that's what I feel, you're saying is when we surrender just to being ourselves, just exactly the way that we are, whether it looks good or bad or however it looks, it's knowing how much God loves us no matter what. That's the bottom line. He understands us. Yeah, because I have calls with people all the time. People, are going through things. It's just part of the process, and just knowing that we're in it together, and I don't know, it's just moving through. Not like it's allowing the fear to come to the surface, allowing the doubt to come up, the unworthiness. That's what the expression sessions are for. Not to just pretend that everything's okay, but to really always beginning again every day. I'm going to begin again today, and allow those thoughts to come up. And that's how they're healed. Non-judgment is what heals. It's like just letting it move through. Praying to the Holy Spirit, praying to God, keeping us deeply praying. I feel like that's what it did for me all those years is I was having to pray all the time. Developing my relationship with God. Help me, God. Help me, Holy Spirit. I don't understand, but just allow it to move through.
Sometimes it's just in the transparency or the willingness to be transparent that is like the activator of the healing. For several weeks, there's been a young woman who's been contacting me. She wants to write a book on practical application of the Course she calls it for the young generation. Let's forgive the generation gap, but she said, are you millennial or Gen Z? She said, I'm both. I'm right in the middle. I'm 26 years old, so I'm Gen Z and I'm millennial. And so she called me recently. She texted me and we talked, and she said, yeah, I'd like to interview you. And I said, I can have you on my YouTube channel and we can do like a live stream. We just show up because I said, you have all these great ideas and practical application and for my generation at 26, this is what I'm dealing with, this is where my struggles are, this is where I've come from, and this. So perfect. We just show up and let's do a live on Sunday. So it's some point, maybe Sunday afternoon. People can tune in instead of the Super Bowl. We'll have joining a holy encounter with how to practically apply these teachings in the language and the symbols, in what you're dealing with. It's how you perceive the world, just a spontaneous live and talk. And but that's again the transparency. To just come on and just show up in honesty and sincerity and willingness and transparency. That seems to be the trigger that activates the healing. Because it's only hiding something from the Holy Spirit that delays the healing. But just the willingness to say, here's what's going on for me. Here's what I'm dealing with or whatever. And then just go openly into that is an open joining, open expression. Let the Spirit take it. Let the Spirit lift it up. So, yeah, that's like the key. That's why the expression sessions, whether it's just calling a friend or whether it's a group of people or sharing in an expression session, that not hiding is an expression of the willingness to heal. And not taking it personally, not holding it private, not holding it like, oh my gosh, this is heavy. I don't know if I can share this. It's really just saying, I'm going to be transparent because I want to heal. Because that's the only reason, just for the healing. Then that's a good enough reason. You don't need a better reason.
Okay. I quiero expresar que primero quiero decir gracias.
I want to express that first I want to say thank you.
Porque recuerdo que en octubre pasado cuando estuve aquí,
Because remember that in the last October when I am here,
hablé contigo en el café.
I spoke with you in the coffee.
Fue la primera vez que sentí que realmente estaba pidiendo ayuda.
And it was the first time that I feeling that I say help.
Algo en mi corazón me decía que esta comunidad era un medio para sanar.
Something in my heart say me that this community is one way for the healing.
Y todo pasó tan rápido.
And everything is happening very quickly.
Se fue el trabajo.
The work, let it go.
Se fue la casa.
The house, let it go.
Obvio quedan algunas preocupaciones.
And of course, have something worries.
Ya, pero de alguna manera milagrosa llegué. No sé cómo.
But in some miracle way, I don't come here, but I don't know how.
Ya, y siento que este es el mensaje de Jesús diciéndome puedes confiar.
And I feel that this is the message to Jesus that he say me, you can trust.
Pero no han sido dos semanas fáciles.
But it not for me, 2 weeks, easy 2 weeks.
Ya, he sentido mucho miedo.
I feel too much fear.
Mucho miedo. Hay momentos que también vuelvo, como que logro, relajarme
For a moment, I try to relax
y sentir.
and feel.
Estoy aquí porque algo que no puedo entender me dice, estás buscando a Dios.
I am here because something that I can understand say me that you are here because you are looking God.
Sí, no es fácil ser auténtico.
It's not easy be authentic.
Hay mucho pensamiento sobre, ¿está bien decir esto? ¿Qué van a pensar de mí?
Have a lot of thoughts about is good say the thing what they are thinking about me.
Y me da mucho miedo desmoronarme.
And I feel a lot of fear for
unravel. Ya, porque en momentos en como que quisiera correr, como huir.
because for a moment I want running.
Pero Jesús siempre está encontrando la forma de decirme, estás a salvo.
But Jesus always say me that you are safe.
Me quiero quedar con eso, con la idea de que no sé cómo,
I want keep that idea that I don't know how,
pero Él sabe cómo encontrarme, así me pierdo.
but he know how find me even when I feel lost.
Y les quiero decir eso, gracias
And I want to say thank you.
por ser usados para llegar a mí y hacerme reconocer que lo que quiero es despertar. No quiero nada más.
Thank you everyone for be used for Jesus, the Holy Spirit, for help me to remember the truth, to wake up.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Lorena. Yeah.
You did it.
I don't understand.
You channeled it.
Sophie's not used to translating, but
She can't even speak.
you sitting next.
You were channeled.
Okay. She's looking over at Vicky. Yeah. It's like with this world, it's like we go through the world and please people, and we feel like we're sometimes swimming under the water. And then when we come up, it's like taking a deep breath, gasping for air. And that's the part where you just trust that Jesus is handling everything. And they said you may be able to stay longer.
She can't understand it.
Depende. I don't have money.
It's all right.
I think that is a decision that I want to live in the hands of Jesus. I think that you know what is the best for me. I don't want more. I want to set that this happen. It's more because I want peace.
Yeah.
More things. But I don't know. I don't have money.
Well,
I don't.
yeah, from our perspective, is that you're a journalist. Very rarely do we have a journalist that shows up. Oh yeah, I could jump onto your publishing team. So we're very grateful, that you're hanging in there and letting the emotions move through and trusting, and it would be an honor to have you stay with us and continue to help and give yourself the opportunity to.
Can she understand what you're saying? What do we got going on? See, she didn't even understand.
It's an honor for us.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yay! Open in the flow.
Yes, baby. Thank you. Everything. Thank you. Because I feel that my heart wants this.
Well, it's very helpful. We have our book, Jesus, Gospel of Love, is just getting published in Spanish, and festival coming in Colombia, I think, the end of is that April? Yeah, it's amazing. So we're just very grateful.
Beautiful.
I remember you liked the dance party we had when you came the first time. Open the heart.
Yeah, maybe one more song.
One more song? If
Can we do one more song?
I have joy in my soul, have joy like a river, joy like a river, have joy like a river in my soul, and like a river, I have joy in my soul. Joy in the morning, even joy in the evening. It is joy in every moment of the soul. And like a river, I have joy in my soul. Now there is joy when we're meeting, even joy when we're parting. Soul, and like a river, I have joy in my soul. It's joy when remembering, giving joy when forgetting. It is joy in every moment of the soul, and like a river. I have joy in my soul. Joy is like a river, let it flow. If you let it flow, it keeps on flowing. From me to you, from you to me. It's like a river. It's never ending. Like a river, just like a river.
Jumping. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. What an honor. Yeah, you three just came together and gave it over.
Yeah.
For 2+ weeks, right? The two were
Yeah, it's about 1 week actually.
1 week and some days.
1 week.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Sometimes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.